What's up, everybody? Welcome back again. I'm going to make this one about, I'm going to call it the Ophiuchus head. It is on the Göbekli Tepe Pillar 43. It is the head in the bottom right. And all the places that I found it, something is going on with this head and this image. It's very old. It's a very ancient symbol. Let's get started. First, I figured something out. You know the stigmata on Jesus's hands? Those are the spheres for the plasma deity, squatter deity. I just figured that out, and I wanted to throw that in there really quick. Okay, so I want to show you something really quick. This is a Salvador. Obviously, on the left, you see Salvador Dali, right? Now, if you turn to the angle a little bit, you can't see what it is. It's just a collection of stuff. But from this angle, you can see that it is a Salvador Dali. No Salvador Dali, Salvador Dali. I'm sure you've seen works of art like that before. This is called anamorphosis. Anamorphosis in the visual arts, an ingenious perspective technique that gives a distorted image of the subject represented in a picture when seen from the usual viewpoint, but so executed that if viewed from a particular angle or reflected in a curved mirror, the distortion disappears and the image in the picture appears. All right, so the Stone Age cave paintings at Lascaux. I said there were 30,000 years. They're 17,000 years, I believe. The Stone Age cave paintings at 17,000 years old at Lascaux may make use of an anamorphic technique because the oblique angles of the cave would otherwise result in distorted figures from a viewer's perspective. Also goes back to Pliny and Tzetzes. I hope it's not testes. Okay, so my point here is it's already been established that this art technique goes back to the very first artistic pieces that we find in human history, the cave paintings at Lascaux. All right, so yesterday, the Eneti Plateau, I think Eneti is Eden, and they got it right. They were making a play on words here. But I think this is the original Eden. I think this is where the birth of civilization basically took place. I want you to take a look at this rock. This is there. Oh, some of the comments that I get are really unnerving. Somebody said to me, "Oh, that just looks like a natural. It was, water erosion. Just did that and left it there." Are you kidding me? Look at this thing. This was not left by water precariously, perfectly balanced like that. These are two rocks. This isn't one rock that's been eaten away, and it's just one solid piece. These are two rocks that were placed. This is an amazing feat of, this beats the pyramids. This is showing precision and balance. All right, so I showed you a rock yesterday that was a map of Africa that they had done. This is, okay, see this rock? This is the same rock this is the back, this is the front. See how that's made like a keel? See how they've keeled that? Almost like Aswan, almost like Easter Island. Okay, so the surprise thing here is when you look at it from the side, you get that. It's an anamorphic rock. This is from the other side that I was showing you. You can't see what it is, but it makes you go, whoa, what is that thing? But when you go on the side of it, the other side, there you see that. That's amazing. That is incredible. This, and I'll tell you what else. This, the way they have this in here, the way that's wedged in there, that looks like a Göbekli Tepe, or, a pillar. Look how they're wedged in there with the, the small point. Look at that. Look at that. This is Orkney. I am for certain that the same people who did Göbekli Tepe did Orkney. Orkney is like Göbekli Tepe, the master class. The people who did Göbekli Tepe could never do this. This is incredible. Look at this stone at Orkney. This is the oldest stone circle outside of Turkey and all that. This is in Europe. And they have found tunnels that lead in the limestone from Scotland to the Mediterranean. So, because they were hiding from the plasma deity that was scorching their planet. They didn't want to go around on surface where you get fried fricassee. So look, that's our Göbekli Tepe pillar friend. This is Orkney. This is Göbekli Tepe. This is God, they've got that. This is more impressive to me than the pyramids. Honestly, how did they do that? Unless, even if that's attached to the bedrock, that they were able to carve that out without it breaking off. By the way, I have some of the best responders in my subscribers. Somebody figured out, and I always love when I'm corrected and it makes me more right. So what they said was, this isn't Madagascar. What this is the Horn of Africa has broken off. The Horn of Africa right there. That's what that is. That's the Horn of Africa. So they even had the Horn of Africa over here. And somebody said to me, I get these trolls that write me several times from sock puppet accounts, and they're left like, I'm a microphysician, and I can tell you that these are not matches. Oh yes, they are. Let's just take see this river system and the mountain system right here. I'll bring up this one because it's got both. We can just go back and forth. First of all, let's just trace the outline. Goes in like that. Someone will say, oh, it's natural water erosion. They're in Africa. So a water erosion just naturally set two rocks on each other that when combined look exactly like Africa in Africa. That's the mental gymnastics you have to do, other than saying somebody made this. What's easier to believe? Occam's razor here, right? Okay, so let's pick a feature. Let's pick, look. What would this be, the eye? This is this eye right here. That eye matches up with that eye. So I bet, yep, that lake. It's Lake Charles. It's where they are. That is Lake Charles on the map right there. This is this. Is there a, let's see. That looks like it corresponds right there. I mean, just take the two eyes. 1, 2, 1, 2. You can do this on your own, but these are a match. This is an anamorphic piece of art that dates back at least to 20,000, 12,000 BC, but it's Northern Africa. People have lived here for 200,000 years. This is definitely much older than that. Okay, so let's move on. It's all the same, and this is where they come from. Eden, the Neneti Plateau, the Neneti Massif. It's all there. It's incredible works of art. These are our guys. Okay, so let's go back to, this is the Göbekli Tepe pillar. Okay, so down here we see the skull. Now here's the funny thing. Part of the Atlantis template is damaging the bottom right. And often the damage in the bottom right is to make it look worn or old or eroded, and that is a lot of times where they will hide the skull within that. But they always try to hide it in the open, like I found in Chaco Canyon, discolored as well. Like they'll do it with a different color rock. But if you see this from a different angle, it just looks like the Göbekli Tepe pillar is damaged. You have to see it from the right angle because it's an anamorphic piece of work. Okay, so there's the skull, and we know he's there because this is the star chart, and this is Pavo, this is Indus, this is Scorpio, and down here he would be the head of Ophiuchus, an old constellation, and Ophiuchus has the bright star Rosselhag in his right eye. Also, look, this is from Myra, Turkey. This is Turkish as well. We have this. This is the bottom of the pillar again. There's Pavo, and here is the skull. That's why these two are together. They don't even know the academics, but this is Pavo, and that's the skull. And look, he's got and in the Popol Vuh, there's a story of the skull having a dagger hidden in its eye. There it is. So what I really think that they were making in the sky while this plasma event was going on is that. I think that Ophiuchus may have been the original plasma deity in the sky, aka Squatterman. You see how these kind of make eyes, and you see how it's kind of got like this lightning crash that goes through it. I think that may have been seen there, and in the sky as well. Because remember, it's a plasma electricity. It is like those balls, those plasma balls. It's constantly in a state of flux. They're seeing different things. They're not just seeing one set image. Okay, so I think this is, and because this is Ophiuchus. This is the Rosselhag star that's very bright in his eye. I think that's what they were seeing down there. I think that Ophiuchus may have actually been one of the first constellations, and what they were making was the plasma deity, because he's got the circles on the side. If you add in the constellation here, if you just you could connect stars a little differently so that his arms are going up. I think that's why he was removed from the zodiac, is because he gives the game away. It's Viracocha. He's got snakes in both hands and standing in the middle. This is every snake guy with snakes in both hands right here. It was Ophiuchus. It was the plasma deity. Okay, so this is the plasma again. So you see that's Ophiuchus. This is from the Popol Vuh. This is an actual shot taken from the artwork of the Popol Vuh. This is called Seven Death in Popol Vuh. He's one of the gods of the underworld, and as you can see, the messed up eye and everything is something this head also becomes the ball that they play, because in the Popol Vuh there is a story of one of the hero twins gets his head torn off by seven Magar, a bird, or no, it's a bat. A bat tears his head off and takes it down into the underworld, and the underworld gods. Well, by the way, you should read the Popol Vuh. Watch this. It's really interesting how they've taken the imagery of the stela and the Moai back and mythologized it all. Like, we have to come up with a story for this part, so I think it's to remember how to draw it. Okay, so this is on the Moai back carving. This was a drawing done before it eroded and stuff. So you see the dagger hidden in the eye. This was the one that started it all, that gave it away. I think this figure also is the birth of the demons with the head with the tongue sticking out and stuff. Anything that has something like that. Now, okay, here's where I'm gonna go off a little bit, and I think that maybe here's something or maybe not. But this is Stonehenge, and if you took these as two eyes, the point I'm gonna make is there is a pattern that I see in ancient work of two eyes with a scar going through the center, going through the middle, something messing up the eyes, either one eye or through the skull. Again, I think originally what it is this. They're copying this plasma shooting through its face. It became the Rosselhag, because this was the closest they could find in the sky where the plasma deity had been, which was the North Pole in the north part of the. So I think this had been the original. Like, they just put him in the sky originally. They just said, this is, he was there. This is the guy. And then they got a little more sophisticated about it and realized that the pole star was not Rosselhag. So but that's why he got removed also. He just gives the game away. All right, so just bear with me here. Also, this is a plasma deity, Stonehenge. If you put the head here and the arms here, this becomes the heart of which we've seen in the Forbidden City. We've seen in the Temple of Solomon. We've seen over and over and over again how special a place that becomes. The Forbidden City, and in the Pyramid of Giza, it's where the Pharaoh, it's where the king's chamber is. In the Forbidden City, it's where the emperor stayed. This is the heart. You see the plasma deity right there. This would be the heart right there. So that's what they're recreating. But it was always tableaus within tableaus within tableaus. Do you know the Pumapuku H's that has the H, like it's going in? That's the essence of it. It starts macro and goes smaller, or it goes micro and goes bigger. But they put it within the image, within the image, within the image. They kept imprinting it. So this could very well be an Ophiuchus face. And this came through here because that is they're recreating the plasma go through, the scar go through, the damage with the eye. Okay, so this is Peru. Again, it's a skull with the thing going through it. And we know that the cultures did adapt this because this is Odin. This whole thing is the face of Odin. See how he's wearing a patch there? It's a tableau within a tableau. That's what I'm telling. They called their artists magicians. You were not expected to just make one image flat, and that's all that it was. It was images on images mixed with images, and the whole thing had to be an image. It's all anamorphic in that way, in it that depending on what part you're looking at, like you could either see a scenery in here, or if you step back, you see Odin's face. This is the earliest extant visual depiction of Odin. So that's what modern academia is already saying this, because there's the eye. Odin had one eye. This is one of those elongated skulls where it looks like they've actually tried to put the scar into their head. This is the Easter Island Moai. You'll see it's got the eye messed up, tableaus within tableaus. This could be, it's Yangana by way it became Yangana, but we're this guy. We're the plasma deity, changing forms, and you see this discoloration. That's not bird poop. That's one of the hiding techniques. They want you to think that it's weathering. Here it is again on the Olmec head. It's the same principle. It's the same. This is also Ophiuchus head. These are all the heads that they're making. Look, see how it's messed up. This is the Yanaguni. See how it's got the streak going through its eyes. The Japanese, the Asian megaliths are the best. So elegant. Alien, just the form and line, just everything's great. So this is another, look, you see the helmet? Okay, see how the helmet is damaged right there? That's what this is. It's and this is intentional. This crack here. This isn't something that you're not able to work the stone this well and then you leave that crack there. They could have worked anywhere else in it. They put that there. This is they're making the plasma go through. Okay, so here it is again. This is another megalith in Japan. They just went ahead and took off his whole face and put the crease right on through his whole body. But this would be Ophiuchus right there. Here's another one in Japan. See the people walking up to it. It's like a face right there. And look, see the face is the way they've carved it so that the shadow goes right through. Right. Another one. Peru, I think. Look, see where the crack is and the eyes, right? Okay, so as you can see, these megalith representations are getting bigger and bigger. They were not, they ain't scared. They said, you know what, I see that, and I'm gonna make an Ophiuchus head out of that. I'm gonna deify this area. It's religious art to them. This is religious art to them. So that was a religious interpretation of what they had seen in the sky. Here we go. We've established the pattern, right? This is Horseshoe Bend, Grand Canyon. What do you see? You see it, don't you? It's him. It's him. You know, it's. I guess that would be really. You know, it's all of them. Look. Right. Look how the eye is squinty. Eye is squinty. This is Odin. This is look. This has been carved. This is how good they were. They were able to set a stone, that giant stone on top of another stone, balanced precariously, and it fits on a narrow base that's what, maybe 10% of the weight that's the circumference of the stone above it. You don't think that they could cut some marks in this thing? Of course they could. And I'll tell you, here's another one. Because it's tableaus within tableaus. There's another face. And you know how I know it's another face? Because that's exactly where he belongs. And they've been very clever about it. The same line that divides his eyes as well. 1, 2. They're being clever. They're trying to be slick. And we know because the Göbekli Tepe pillar, right? Here's our 2/3 down. You divide it right here. That's probably Pavo's eyes. This is the Y. This is when I didn't mark it off or anything. I don't see anything in there and stuff. Look, I'm not trying to make the tableau here right now. I'm just trying to show you the giant face. I know you see a giant face. You're meant to say, well, it could be a face. That's how they've been getting away with this for tens of thousands of years. They called their artists magicians. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image of he who shall not be named. They were scared to bring him back. But look, the scar is exactly in the right place, and he's down here too with the right eye. Look how strange the eyes are. That's going to come into play too. Look how far apart that one is down there. So I was actually looking at old city, as you know, because I've been doing the plasma deity in the in the various layouts. I went back to ancient Athens. So we got this guy, and that's Athens, and this is the agora right here, and it almost looks like it should be swapped. But then there's, this is a huge clearing. So to them, this was the empty space. And the way they've done the roads going through, I mean, is it coincidence that this line here is exactly where it's supposed to be? Is it a coincidence that it looks like a face that has got 2 eyes and the one is so holy, it's the Acropolis. And the other place they've made a clearing. You can accuse me. I'm just presenting the evidence here. This looks alike to me. And if you think I'm crazy, this is ancient India. Look at what she's wearing. This was a religious token. This is thousands of years old. This was no joke. This is Odin. This is Ophiuchus with the Rosselhig star. This was a thing. This was a look. It got mythologized in Norse mythology. There's the thing. Here's where it gets a little strange for me, and this guy really throws a wrench in my works because this is Altamira Man. Oh, that eye scares scares me. Look at it. You can still see the remnants of his eye. I go back and forth. I think he may have been placed here. This is a missing link between Neanderthal and us, and it's already been proven because they've taken his DNA and stuff like that. This skull is exactly the same. There's other things too, like in the Popol Vuh, he would be Seven Death, and his cave you have to enter through the top, and you go down like it's Zabulba. And there's a story in the Popol Vuh of how the 100 and 700, I believe, bring all these animal bones to placate Seven Death, and his cave is full of animal bones. It fits the story of the Popol Vuh of going into Zabulba. He looks like Seven Death, and there's animal bones all in it. Here's the catch: he's 140,000 years old. Was that how old Squatterman or the plasma deity was? And then this got, is this tied in? Because there's so many things that his cave ties into the Popol Vuh. But the only thing that is the age difference. This is ancient. This really throws a wrench in my works, I'll tell you. Okay, so here's where I think that this image has stayed around in popular culture even today. As I said, just because we have cell phones and Netflix doesn't mean mythology is stopped. We are continuing today the mythology of yesteryear. It became the Cyclops, and I'm starting to wonder if the Iliad and the Odyssey isn't itself a representation of the template, if it's not in story form. If it's a plasma, it's telling the plasma about the plasma deity because it has the mermaids in it, or the sirens that called you to your death. Okay, so I think the one-eyed guy became the Cyclops. The Jolly Roger. It should be noted also that the Knights Templar were burnt at the stake for having too much money, number one. And number two, it was said that they worshipped the skull of John the Baptist. I don't think it was a skull of John the Baptist. I mean, they may have thought it was a skull of John the Baptist, but it was an esoteric. It was this skull. And they didn't know. But so the Christianity had once again assimilated a pagan tradition. And the skull of Ophiuchus, the what it became, got turned into the head of John the Baptist. Did he know? I don't know, but he's got the two separate eyes and he's got the flash through the head. I wouldn't put it past David Bowie to have known about the occult. He could have. I'm just having fun here, but I'm just saying that this is how we are still keeping this image, this tradition together today. Sometimes not even that subtle. I mean, he's Thor, he's Odin's son, and he's becoming the Odin power here in this scene. This is the image surviving today. Harry Potter, we've got the scar going through the head there, right? This is from The Watchmen. And I have no doubt in my mind that Alan Moore, the great Alan Moore, he puts occult stuff all through his work. Star Wars, I keep telling you, one day I'm just going to do an entire video about all the occult imagery in Star Wars. George Lucas knows. I find all kinds of stuff in there. This is just one of them. Here we go again. The skull, scary skull with the thing going through it. Up to Muir Man. All right, now here we go. I think that it's anamorphic art. I think it's just like the African map. I think it's just like the Salvador Dali. Yes, I know that it's mountains and all that coming together. We are not taking into account anamorphic art. And look at his helmet, right? Doesn't that look like that's his helmet? Doesn't that look like that's his helmet? What's going on Mars? I'm going to do a video. I got more Martian stuff too. I don't want to keep coming back to Mars, but I keep coming back to Mars. Okay, so I want to come back to this for a second because I think this also, look at that. Look at that. That is two stones that if you don't look at it this angle, it looks like it's a Göbekli Tepe pillar. This is anamorphic art. They are in Africa. This is, I don't know if it's an exact topograph, like if you do the laser scan, but it is a pretty darn accurate representation. I want you at home to look this up, and I wish there were more pictures of it this way. I really do, because look at that. That's the bird. There's Seven Macaw right there. There's stuff all in here. And you know why I think they did this? To hide it. This is power. If you know the entire map of Africa, you can rule Africa. You can begin your conquest. And they put a face in here because, look, there's the eyes. Because it's, and this is the top of the plasmid where the bird is. Because if you were standing in front of it and looking like, I need to go on a trip, some people could just say, oh, he's just praying. But I know I'm looking at my map before I leave. This is a military secret. This is knowledge is power. If you have a map of the continent before anybody else does, I'm telling you, it's all here. Look, this part right here is this indent. See how that right there? It's that. This and that is the Horn of Africa that fell off. Somebody was right, absolutely right. It's that part right there. Okay, let's continue. Okay, here's where, it gets a little, I always try to end with a bang. This creeps me out. This is a topographical map of Africa. What do you see there? How big were these guys carving? Is it possible? Was this just a natural feature that they took advantage of? Was it alien? Who is carving stuff on our planet and on Mars that matches? Look where the river system goes. It's right where it should be. Through the eye. Look, those are eyes. I don't. So I've looked on it. So I messed with it. I was like, it's just my imagination. You see it even better in black and white. Now here's the strange part. Okay, that's on Mars. That's another face on Mars. What's going on? What's happening here? This is Mars with water. If this is an eye and that's an eye, doesn't that kind of look, I mean, again, here, maybe I am nuts, maybe I don't know. I'm putting all the cards on the table. I told you, I memorized all of these ancient images, like a giant game of matchup. And I've got them all, and I've got these, and I'm wondering, is there something here? This is bizarre to me. This, I shouldn't, I don't know. It's let me take you back through the earlier stuff just one more time. Okay, so let's run everything one more time. This is the stigmata. It's the circles on the side. This is anamorphic art that I'm talking about. This is Salvador Dali. You can't see it when it's that way. Anamorphosis dates back to the cave paintings. This is the stone, the Africa. Look at this. You would never in a million years be able to tell that's an African map by that. And look at the way it's precarious. This is expert. This is expert. This is beyond super master level of the pyramids would have been nothing to these people. This is the birth of dolmens. This is and look at the way they're carving it out. It's exactly like Aswan. It's exactly like Rapa Nui. Okay, but look, you turn it this way, and all of a sudden, you've got, this is on the other side of it. You've got a map, and that looks like this. By the way, this is the Enedi Massif. That is the Rapa Nui, the island right offside. It's also the Angkor Wat. This is what they're doing. They're recreating home. They are it's hard for us to wrap our heads around it, how amazing and on what scale they were geocarvers. And it's all based on one thing that you already know. As above, so below. Okay, so here we go. This is the map. there's stuff carved all in this thing. All in this thing. Okay, so here's another topographical map, and you can still make out, this is a drawn one. This isn't like a satellite one, so it's not as, but it's still in there. And if we look on the bottom here, this isn't a good enough resolution, but you can kind of see, again, it's tableaus within tableaus. So look at the way this is bent. You see how it's bent right there? That's Orkney. That's Orkney. These are the same people. The people who made Göbekli Tepe are the people who made Orkney. It's a stone circle. Look at that. This is practically a Göbekli Tepe pillar right here. The way it's shaped. And the way that little tiny end goes in, it's just the way Göbekli Tepe does. You don't see a fat base. You see a little narrow base. Just like they do here. Just like they do here. Well, you can't really tell. But look, they've even broken the end off there. They don't need the base. And there's Pavo, and there's Seven Death. There's a headless body in there because he gets his head torn off. The one of the hero twins, and they replace it with a cabbage or something, a squash. Okay, so here they are, Pavo and Sen, exactly where they are up here. There's Pavo and there's Ophiuchus, Pavo and Ophiuchus. I think that they're making the ultimately the plasma ball. There's the eyes. There's the streak going through. There's Ophiuchus constellation with the bright Russell Hague star. There he is. The whole thing. That's Viracocha. That's the plasma deity himself. This is from the Popol Vuh. How the head was turned into. It's a head on a tree, because it looks like he's on a tree in the with the horizon line and the Scorpius coming up and makes a tree, and the head on the side makes it all. The head also becomes the ball in the Mayan game, which is the ball and the hook on the that we find in the pyramid. By the way, I figured out what the balls are. I thought they were stars, but there aren't. There are stars in the constellation of Scorpio there. I'm not sure they line up quite like that. But what I think is it's the council of it's the council of the gods. It's when the four planets, there's four balls. It's when the four planets were aligned: Earth, Venus, Mars, and Saturn. And it's on Mars, and it's in the pyramid. So this is on the right butt cheek of the Moai, exactly where it would be with the in relation to the mural with the Göbekli Tepe 43 carving in the bottom right. This is Stonehenge. It is a plasma deity with the center being the heart of the plasma deity. I also wonder if these are eyes and this is the streak coming through it. As we see in this piece, here are the eyes, here's the streak coming through it. As we see in the first depiction, of Odin, that's his whole face, he wears an eye patch. As we see this fellow getting done to his head, quite stylish and quite dangerous for the back then. We see it on the back of the Moai, and the top right, he's got his eye messed up, just like on the thing. Again, the repeating imagery. This is this is meant to be messed up, just like it's meant to be messed up there. It's damaging. It's creating the streak without. Same thing. This is intentional. This was not perfect. Or it may have been perfect, and the artist damaged it himself. This is not weathering. Same kind of thing. They're damaging it in the same area to create the zigzag of the electricity. And I'm quite sure that's the sound they make. And that's the Yonaguni Monument. Oh, look, we got it right through there. That is we have that plus the helmet of the Mars face. They just cut his whole face right on off there and put a lightning strike right through him. How beautiful is that? And look what they were able to put this thing up there and perch it. And people want to tell you, oh, that's a natural rock formation. Yeah, okay. And I've got some ice storm insurance to sell you in Texas too. Okay, so here we go again. That's Japan. They've divided the face again. Peru, it's divided again. See a little squinty eye in that one? It's match. This is Horseshoe Bend. The eye, see going straight through there, and here's another face with the eye, and it's getting divided, exact same place. There's a smiley. Here's Athens, the eye, the face, and it's got the crack going right through it as the streets. Here's an ancient Indian pendant and some boobies, but there's missing the eye. This was definitely a thing. Altamira Man, I don't know, but here's how we fit in popular culture. It continues to this day. Mythology does not end. Mythology does not end. It just continues. Here's the Mars face, same thing. Is there something there? I don't know. If there's something there, is it something they saw or something they made? You be the judge. It boggles the mind to think that they could do something on this scale. How would they see it? That adds its own questions. But then you think of the Nazca lines and how expansive those are. What was the stretch of their abilities at their maximum? Again, the Africa in Lake Chad wasn't bothered by the Ice Age. While everybody else was struggling to stay alive, they had thousands of years of uninterrupted bliss where all they did was learn how to be expert carvers and work the stone and navigate the earth and everything. And what was the extent? What was the extent? And why do we find stuff on Mars that's like it? I don't know. There's a lot of questions. I flipped over a lot of cards. A lot of cards looked alike to me. I'm pushing it all in your face here and saying, I think there's something here. So let's try to figure this out, okay? I'm Steve. This was Lauren. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.